Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe down below, and if you are not new, welcome back. Today is March 26th. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I wanted to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. So let's talk about the illusion, right? The illusion of life. I want to get deep for a minute because I feel like everything, if you really just sit down and think about it, if you really just think about it, touch yourself, feel yourself, touch yourself. We are all a person. We are all a being. We are all made up of the same things: neurons, protons, atoms, matter. Period. No matter who you are still made up of the same exact thing as the next person on this earth. So I want to get into illusions because I feel like everything is an illusion, right? The way we see life, the way that we interpret life, the way that things are, the way that happiness is, the way that everything is basically an illusion. And I say this because I was talking to my friend today, and we got to talking real deep about a subject that made me very emotional. We was talking about some traumas. We was talking about my daughter, and we was talking about the high school that I went to when I was a teenager. I went to two different high schools, but the high school that I went to, the first one was, I'm not even going to say the names. I don't want to say the names, but I went to a high school in the middle of what I was experiencing as culture shock. And it really shook my world. And I was only 13 years old when this happened, but the way that I operate in life right now is based on some of the traumas that I perceived to be true in the past. And so, I wanted to talk about illusions and the perceptions of the things we see, whether it be true or false. It's all really based on the medium of feeling. So this year I wanted to get into more self-development. And so I made it a point to really take the time out to spend months dedicating myself to my self-development. And one of the things that I wanted to do this year, one of the things that I have been doing this year is reading audiobooks. And I'm talking not just sporadically, but my goal is to read or listen to one book a month and marinate on that book so that it really gets into the deepest part of my mind. Not just to read it and say, oh, I read this book and conversate with other people, but to get into it on a deeper level. So the first book that I read this year was called Failing is the Secret by Neville Goddard. And that book really changed my perspective on my life and others around me, because I didn't have this knowledge before. I didn't even know, because I didn't grow up in a spiritual household. I didn't grow up in anything spiritually based. I did go to church, but I didn't even really have a relationship with God like that, besides praying my way out of situations. So the book Neville Goddard wrote is called Failing is the Secret, and one of the chapters elaborated on prayer. And so prayer is basically going to sleep as you already dream the wish fulfilled, basically. And so I started to do that. I started to implement that in my life, and it has changed my life so far in a pretty big way. Also, one of the things that I really understood to be true was how I perceive things was true for everybody, and it should be true for everybody. And so that's a really big misconception that I had, and I'm really glad that I'm breaking those barriers of misconceptions in my life. But let's get back to Neville Goddard. So Neville Goddard taught me that it is okay to go to sleep as you already have the wish fulfilled. And I just want to elaborate on that, because if you have a dream, your dream is not to dream based on your circumstances. Your dream is not to be altered based on what you see already in your life. Your dream is literally bigger than you. Your dream is going to be something that the universe gets the glory for, or God, or whatever term you coin to resonate in your life to make this situation applicable to you. Just know that your dream is bigger than you, and your reality is not as important as your dream. So it is very hard to go after your dream when you have so many limitations in your life. And I want to touch on that a little bit as well, because limitations can really hinder you in numerous ways, right? I think we all have limitations, as we obviously are limiting experiencing human beings or whatever, but limiting beliefs are things that slow down the process of your growth in a way that you're almost crippled. So limiting beliefs literally cripple your sense of being, your sense of doing, actually. And I believe this to be true because they have so many people in the world who really go after their dreams, but they have so many people that struggle in this area. And I want to speak to that crowd for a moment, because for a long time, that was me. So I was just driving home from my friend's 10 acres, and she really inspires me to be my best self. But we had a conversation about just authenticity. And mind you, I call her my friend, but I only met her a few days ago. And the reason being is because I believe when you meet somebody from this lifetime who has been your friend in a past life, then they obviously have been here before. And so I really think that is a good place to start with our friendship. So we was talking about limiting beliefs and just being ourselves, right? So I think it's really hard for people to be themselves because we have so much access to the world now, and so much we're drawing in and taking in from others, from other people's lives, looking at other people, a glimpse of their life on social media, and we can see that it looks glamorous, it looks great, but we don't know behind the scenes what it really means to have that lifestyle, or to maintain that lifestyle, or to even achieve that lifestyle, right? So we really just wish we were in someone else's shoes when we really have the power to step into our own source and tap into our own source of life. And so I want to share a few tips about how you can really tap into your own source of life. So basically, the source of life is like the ocean, right? It brings in waves, it makes big waves, it has small waves, but ultimately it's the same ocean, right? It's the same water. So everything is a spectrum. There's high vibrations, there's low vibrations, and everything is still one. Everything is still interchangeably connected. So when you think of it that way, you have to also think about success being the same as failure, right? Because you cannot have success without failure. So just focus on creating something and having some type of creation in this life, because literally creation is one big illusion. It is the illusion, but it is the thing that makes this world tangible. You know, everything started from a thought. The houses, the apartment complexes, the trees that were planted outside, everything, the stores that were built, the food that was planted, it all started with a seed, right? And so the seed in our lives is the subconscious mind. And so let's get into that right now, because this is my favorite part, talking about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the seed in your life. And however you choose to water that seed, whether good, bad, or indifferent, is going to produce that fruit. Now, I don't want to skip over this because it's very important that you understand that whatever you choose to water in your life is going to manifest. So whatever your seed is, you plant it in the ground. Everybody has a seed because we all have the throat chakra, and the throat chakra is our word, and that's what the Bible also says. So let's talk about fertilization. So fertilization is when you focus on faith or fallacies. And I'm specifically going to talk about faith today because that is what I want to grow in my life. So I'm going to continue to water myself by meditation in the morning. I continue to water myself by working out. I continue to water myself and my children by the words that I choose to water them with, and the I am statements and the happy vibes that I give them, in different ways of meeting new people that waters me, right? Because that's a part of my personality too. So I think it's very important to pay attention to what your subconscious mind is focusing on, even when you are not having conscious thoughts, because it is ultimately the subconscious mind that is creation to the conscious mind. And whatever you're agreeing with and accepting in your subconscious mind is going to come to fruition in the conscious outer being. As within, so without, by the famous words of Neville Goddard. So again, I just want to focus on speaking positivity into your life and the positive vibes, and speaking words that are going to make you feel good, and speaking life into yourself and watering yourself, but also using the principles and the character that you have developed to also back that up. So if you're a person of integrity and a person of character, you're not going to keep indulging in conversations that aren't really good for you or healthy for you, because it is the things that you choose to agree with in your subconscious mind that comes to life. So if you are arguing with somebody consistently and you're not really trying to bring negativity in your life, then ultimately your character and the principles that you agree with in your life has to align with that action. And I hope I'm reaching somebody when I say this, because this one is probably the biggest for me. I'm constantly being challenged by people around me, challenging my character and my principles on a daily basis. But I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of, and I'm not going to continue to bring my vibrations down for people who may not resonate with where I am. In fact, I'm going to put myself out there so that I can attract people of higher vibrations, so that I'm able to maintain what I am ultimately seeking in this lifetime, right? Because that's what I want and that's what I desire. So fit it to your needs and, accommodate whatever you plan to do for yourself. But I think it's very important to make sure that your character is also aligning with what you say that you want, because when there's inconsistencies, they really start to show. They really start to manifest as well. I'm just very happy that I have my head on pretty straight, because like I said, I'm constantly being tested on a daily basis. And I do consider myself a person of character. But sometimes it can be hard because I'm still human and I have limitations, and I do have limiting experiences based on things from my past that I'm still learning to get away from, learning to accept. I think accept is the better word. I'm still learning to accept certain things in my life. And so with challenges, they're basically kind of reaffirming some of the traumas and the triggers that I've been working on for a while now. And I'm really proud of myself for how far I have come, because I know that the work that I've put in is consistent effort. It is deliberate, intentional effort, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm going to always be proud of myself for putting my best foot forward in everything that I do, right? Like, why not? You should be proud of you too. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to end it here on that note. And I hope that somebody got something from this. If you got anything from this, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe down below. And thank you guys so much for just listening to the things that I had to say. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.